Hey, what's up everybody? This is Raul Bianchi from the Expendables, and I'm here in Chicago, and I'm going to do either a brief or an intricate rig rundown, depending on how nerdy I want to get. So I guess we can get started. This is my main live guitar. This is an Ernie Ball Music Man Steve Luke 3 model. I would say it has some. It's a really versatile guitar, has some Strat-like tendencies to it. I went with single coil, single, and a humbucker. There are DiMarzio pickups. The neck and the middle pickup are active, and the bridge is a passive pickup. So there's 9-volt battery, goes in, powers the pickups. And I have never really liked any active pickups before I played this guitar. But it's got a beautiful roasted maple neck. They're made in San Luis Obispo, California. Rosewood fretboard. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I've got a backup that's white that's basically identical, but the interesting thing about these two is they don't sound exactly the same, which is why I mostly use this one. This one has a little bit more brightness to it. This one's a little sort of cleaner sounding. This one's a little grittier, so I kind of like this in a live setting. If I'm recording something clean, I might use this, or I've got a whole heap of guitars at home that I use. I'm actually working on building a parts Stratocaster, kind of a vintage throwback, but with the same pickup configuration at home right now, and I'm very excited. And maybe next time I do one of these, I can have the guitar with me and do a rundown of it. When I play live, I'm using DR pure blue strings. Took me years and years to realize that what I really love about guitar strings is a pure nickel string. I feel like they bend more easily, and they're kind of not as stiff, I would say is the word I use to describe it, than other string companies. And when I'm playing live, depending on the song, I usually do a lot of pickup selection even in between solos. If I'm playing something clean rhythmically, I'll usually be in the neck or combo neck and middle. A lot of my solos, depending on if it's a hard rock or metal something, I'll usually be in the bridge or a combination of bridge and neck to give it a little bit more versatile sound to it. The tone knob is always cranked. I usually don't ever roll off my tone, and my volume is almost always cranked unless I'm doing a swell or something. I use 11 gauge. I believe it's 11 to 49 or 11 to 50. I just switched to DRs a few months ago, so I really should know my string gauge a little better. I'm pretty sure 11 to 50 or 11 to 49, I think, is the string back. But it's the pure blues 11s is the set. I don't use a custom set. So we've done acoustic album before, and I love playing acoustic live. I just don't have too many options to do it, so I thought it would be kind of a nice change for a couple songs to have this. I got this beautiful guitar. They're based in Ben Lomond, which is near Santa Cruz where I live, but this one I think is actually made overseas. It's a little cheaper model because the Kenny Hill New World guitars are really expensive. But yeah, so it's a beautiful classical guitar. I've been at home kind of fiddling around trying to learn a lot of finger picking and classical stuff, so I'm kind of trying to incorporate a little bit of some kind of classical Latin type flavors to some of the stuff we're doing. So that's why I got this, and I have it kind of on a stand, so anytime I get the urge to play it, I can just walk over and start playing it. I don't have to do a whole switcheroo thing, so it's kind of nice. The strings, I was just using any sort of standard hard tension classical string. I had some sent from DR that I put on there recently. So it's a hard tension classical string from DR. So this, I've had a few custom pedal boards over the years, and I decided I wanted to build my own, because I've had a lot of problems and we don't always have the same tech that knows my gear. So anything that goes wrong, I want to be able to know that I can troubleshoot it. And so one thing that really excited me is I'm currently running a 4-channel Angle Powerball 100 amp, and it's got 4 channels, and I wanted a switching system because I'm tired of doing all this pedal dancing and stepping and all this stuff. So I looked up switchers, and I found this company out of England called Gig Rig, and they make this called the G2. So what this thing does that's pretty amazing is I can set all my presets by hand. I can have all the buttons in here, turn any individual pedal on or off, have my effects loop go in and out of whatever order of the signal chain I want it to. And so I have any combination of pedals I want, and it can switch my amp channels, which is a lot of switchers can't do. So it'll switch from clean to dirty, have my effects loop on and off, all by just the push of a button. So the order of my signal chain is kind of funky. I don't do a standard typical order for pedals. Through the first one, well, the wah pedal is outside of the chain. my full tone wah, and then it goes the whammy pedal, the pitch factor, which is a harmonizer, a vintage Ibanez tube screamer that I got on eBay years ago after recording with one in the studio that I fell in love with. So this one's pretty valuable, pretty old. To the OCD, and this is probably the most important combination of pedals in my tone, because it's these two overdrive pedals I use together, and it gives you a nice kind of creamy, warm lead sound that's not too heavy, not using my amp's heavy distortion, using the clean channel. Then it goes to the chorus pedal, which is a diamond chorus. I love diamond pedals. Then a Phase 90. I have the original Script logo MXR Phase 90, which is the one that Van Halen made famous with his brown sound. I like to use that on some leads. It gives a nice little color to it. Then the tremolo pedal, another full tone. It's a super trem. I use that pretty sparingly, but any song that requires trem, I'll use it. And then Deja Vibe, which is kind of an old clone of an old Hendrix, the Univibe pedal. And then the Memory Lane, which is it's a tap tempo analog delay, and they don't make these anymore. It's a great sounding analog delay pedal. This is pretty much the only pedal that is running through my effects loop. It's just the delay. And then I've got, what's next? That's it. And that's through all the pedals. I'm not counting the tuner. And then for my live setup, I've got it written down. I have a clean sound with just a little chorus, a lead clean, which is basically just overdrive with the Deja Vibe. The clean lead, which is just the tube screamer and a delay pedal. The dirty lead, which is those two pedals, the delay. Whammy, which is my original Whammy 1, which is another pedal that's not made anymore, but I find that the reissues don't track as well, so this one itself sounds really good for doing any kind of a whammy sweep. And also it's sometimes I'll use it for octave harmony stuff. Then just a regular amp distortion with some delay. A straight clean sound, which I never use. So this is the least used channel, is just a straight clean sound with no effects on it. And then a trem with some overdrive, and then some weird funky pitch factor kind of sonic ambient noise music, and then a heavy distortion, the whammy pedal, which I use for the octave stuff. I have the Queen setting, which was the pitch factor, which is a heavy distortion with lots of delay and harmony on it, so it's kind of got that Brian May sound. And then the last one here is just my distortion, heavy distortion with the phaser, and then my tuner. And that's pretty much it. I use lots of different combinations of everything. And I mostly use this for, it's basically not a rhythm setup. It's mostly for leads, because most of the rhythm I do live is done on keyboards now. So everything else, all the rhythm stuff is either done by Jeff, or some stuff I'll do, a lot of kind of accompanying little parts and ambient noise and trippy effects, and do a lot of that kind of stuff. In the studio, I have the luxury of being able to use lots of different amps, which I don't live. I've done that before, and it was such a headache and pain in the ass that I went through so many issues with troubleshooting broken amps and certain amps not working and combinations not working together. So I'll usually use some type of really good clean amp for those tones, for the clean, not overdriven tones, like a nice old tube Fender Deluxe or something like that. And then so live, my sound is just a little bit dirtier. So what I like to do when playing clean is I like to use my chorus pedal, and it almost gives you kind of the chorus pedal through an angle. It almost clean, it almost sounds like an Eric Johnson-y type of a sound where I don't even need an overdrive. It just sort of naturally overdrives and has a nice, cool rhythm tone that sort of sets me apart from our other guitar player. And then when I'm playing leads, I really do a lot of knob adjustments live because no two venues sound the same. So I will really work with my tube screamer pedal and really work with the overdrive level and the total overall level, because it really can boost your signal and give it that kind of extra warmth that really a full, open room venue can provide, which I think is really great. And then when I want to get really weird, I'll usually do a lot of stuff with my delay pedal, my wah, and my whammy, and really kind of sort of spaced out, trippy, echoey sounds that sort of really kind of just sort of swirl around and provide a nice kind of background noise effect to everything. And that's pretty much it, I think. So, hope I answered some questions for people that might be curious about what I use live and a little bit of what I use in the studio. You can hear most of everything I just showed you on our EP called Moment, which is coming out in May, first week of May. So check out the Moment EP, and check us out on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, all the Expendables. We got lucky and got in before the movie decided to take our name away from us. So check us out on all those things and come see us at a show soon. All right, take care.